This is the new Omega Speedmaster Professional with white dial, and in this video I will review it. I own a Hasselite Omega Moonwatch, but this white dial version is very confusing for me right now. When Omega teased a white dial version of the Speedmaster on Daniel Craig's wrist in late 2023, it sent the watch community into a turmoil of guessing what it's going to be. I was also intrigued and felt a great disturbance in the force, but I wasn't super excited. After all, the Speedy is already everywhere. An icon so iconic that it feels overexposed, even pushed down your throat sometimes. So to be clear, I did like the white Speedmaster in photos and pictures, but I never had a chance to take a closer look at this watch. Now, thanks to Karan from Wrist Time Company, I have a chance to have my hands on this Omega. As I spent some time with this watch and experienced it up close, I am very confused by this chronograph. Sometimes watches that you don't think you need becoming something you really want. That white dial Speedmaster is that kind of watch. A familiar face dressed in something new, with enough differences to make me rethink my collection. But let's take it step by step. When I held the watch in my hands for the first time, I was immediately struck by the visual impact of the white lacquered dial and black contrast hands, markers and bezel. This new white step dial changes the mood, look and feel of the familiar iconic watch entirely. Omega has created an absolutely gorgeous watch. I think most watch enthusiasts like this model and welcomed it. But there are people for whom this white Speedy doesn't do anything. Whichever camp you are in, I would recommend checking this model out by yourself. The lacquer dial model is based on the classic Speedmaster Professional Sapphire Sandwich version. Sandwich is a nickname for the Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch, when it features a sapphire crystal on both the front and the back of the watch, like a sandwich. This sapphire model contrasts with the standard Hasselite version, which has a solid case back and which is the actual watch selected to be used by NASA astronauts for all manned space missions. So the white dial has all the specs that the sapphire model does, but it looks like a very different watch. If you watch my previous videos on classic Moonwatch models, you know that I think it doesn't look like a luxury product and more like a tool. Which it is, but it's quite underwhelming and dare I say boring watch, and I don't mean it in a negative way. But this white Speedy is a completely different animal, and the watch does look and feel like a luxury product. So if the regular Speedmaster is too boring for you, definitely check out this model. It's surprising how much this dial changes the character of the watch. But not only the dial, the applied diamond polished black hour markers raised above the lacquered white, casting shadows that add a very mesmerizing 3D effect and depth. The sunken subdials add to the perception of layers. Legibility of the watch is fantastic in daylight. The black on white contrast that provides by black markers and hands is absolutely crisp and very easy to read. At night, however, the small lume plots are underwhelming. If lume is something you value, this might be a bit of a compromise. The lacquered white dial looks very much like porcelain. It's something I find very cool but might be not for everyone. I really enjoy the look of this dial and especially how it plays in the light. A transparent back case with the beautiful Omega 3861 movement is a great additional bonus. Another cool fact is that apparently this white dial with red Speedmaster text and tip of the second hand is inspired by astronaut spacesuits and the Alaska One prototype from 1969. The hour and the chronograph seconds hands have curved edges similar to the modern Hasselite version. I like small details like that. Since the watch has the same case dimensions, it wears pretty similar to the classic Moonwatch. You have the familiar 42mm case size, just slightly over 13mm thickness, and what makes Speedy wearable for most wrists, short lug to lug size, only 47mm. White dial watches often wear larger than the specs suggest, but I think this Speedmaster is an exception. I think that it wears very similar to its specs. And it looks fantastic on the wrist. I know that many people consider black dial watches to be most versatile, but I find that when the white dial done right, it is much more versatile watch. This Speedmaster is perfect example when the white dial done right. My Rolex Explorer 2 Polar is the watch I can wear everywhere and with any clothes. This Speedy would be the same. I can see myself wearing it for any possible occasion. I've worn this watch for about a week and I think I would be wearing the white dial more often than my Hasselite version. Despite the more luxurious look, the white Speedmaster feels tough and robust enough to be a great everyday partner. As you can see, this model is on an Omega rubber strap and it's very comfortable strap. It's so good that I am thinking of getting the same strap for my Hasselite Speedmaster. I would recommend buying it on a bracelet though and then add a strap. But this Speedy looked like a strap monster to me, so I think I would be swapping straps for different occasions. This Omega is powered by the caliber 3861. Which is the same movement that you can find in the Hasselite or regular Sapphire models. It is an Omega manual wound coaxial master chronometer. The movement is anti-magnetic to 15,000 Gauss and has 50 hours of power reserve. The watch comes with 50 meters of water resistance and it should be enough to swim as per Omega. But I would not take it intentionally to beach or pool. It's not a diver by any means, but it's a great everyday watch and the sapphire crystal adds to its toughness. So I think it's an absolutely fantastic watch and one of my favorite Speedmasters out there right now. The Omega Speedmaster Professional white dial takes one of the most explained watches in history and makes it fresh again. I really want to add this watch to my collection. I don't know if I would replace my Hasselite Speedy with it, but I would definitely be happy to have them both. So these my thoughts on the Omega Speedmaster Professional White. Let me know what's your take on this model. Would you choose a white Speedy over the classic black version? Thank you for watching. I will see you next time and happy collecting.